but we know that when it comes to the internet marketplace and the people that follow us for the most part and stuff like that, like everybody wants the LS versus Triple Diamond versus LST versus GT3 battle, right? Like that's what people want to know, and they're going to give it to them this year. Like and I'm
It's
including
gonna
Cobra
be
in that. Like you saw my
yeah.
ball speed
It's
at Cobra. We had
yeah.
we had some fun.
It's and for our function and for the the people in the forums and the big gearheads, like it's driver warrior. Like this next year is driver wars. I mean,
Yeah, it's
that's
awesome.
and for the golf business, you don't want one company that has like the big driver and everybody else is kind of here.
Yeah,
You want the big companies fighting and fighting and fighting. And this is the first year that I think everybody truly has an on-brand product
yeah,
that's very specific to that company. And
yeah.
it
Nobody's
doesn't
trying to be anybody else.
nobody's trying, not this year, no. And it's been cool to kind of see
No.
how they've tried to be somebody else. Like I know GT3, if I'm going to speak for Titleist, GT3's been the North Star on tour. Every tour truck is trying to figure out what it is about that driver that works so well. It's I wrote a social media post on this thing, a couple weeks ago, and it's like, it's got the perfect amount of face progression, and it's very neutral, and the CG's in a good spot, and the weighting goes across the face, sort of the way the head's constructed. There's just something about that driver that really works, and it's a really, really hard one for fitters to beat. And I'm not talking about speed; I'm just talking about efficiency.
Yeah, and
So
it's funny because now that I'm thinking about this, how many times last week did we hear the word shape?
yeah,
Right? That's
hmm
actually a big deal next year for across the board. Like shape in many ways, I'm not going to go further than that, but shape in many ways is a big part of the storylines next year, and I'm excited about that because I mean the
and
pictures are out there of most of the stuff, but it's good.
it's aesthetic shape, not aerodynamic shape. Like there's not like, well, this shape's going to make you swing it faster. There's none of that stuff. It's like, this is the
No,
shape
no,
that
no,
people
no.
want to look at. Yeah.
Yeah,
So, okay, let's go into Cobra really quick. Cause
yeah.
you have a great relationship with them. So
I
you're
love those guys. Yeah,
well versed in their product.
yeah,
The other nice thing for me is I'm coming back to all this stuff, as we go.
yeah,
Um, we're talking about, you're talking, like, Carbon Face, for example, kind of launched, Sim 2 was TaylorMade's first driver when I was started with Callaway, and then they went into the Carbon Face after that. So like it was, but it was out of sight, out of mind. We talked about it, but it wasn't that big of a deal. It's been interesting to see Cobra's progression, because you and I pull hard for Cobra, and the reason why we do is because they always have really, really cool ideas and they actually execute on their ideas, but they lose the marketing war. They really do. They just, it's I don't know what the analogy would be, but they tend to try to how do you say this, Jake? It's almost like you have a
it's a key.
you have
It's a
do you know
Kia.
who they are? Or that it's like the Blue Jays. It's like Blue Jays baseball. They play efficient golf design. They make good products and this and that, but they just don't have, sometimes they just don't have that all-star or that big budget player that's going to get them over the edge. And
Yep.
what we experienced at Encinitas Ranch, I can't think of a product there that I didn't like. I mean, Luke Epp, for example, emailed me and said, "Hey, what do you want to hit, or what do you want to test?" And I'm like,
Yeah,
I'm gonna
I was
wait. I'm
curious
gonna
to see
wait
what
till
you were going to
after.
respond with. Yeah.
I just emailed him and said, I don't do, like, honestly, there's like 6 things that I want, but I want to do it at club test. Like, I don't know.
Yeah,
Like
you're
I,
going to do
I
your
have
fit.
like I
Yeah.
don't. I want to walk away from at the end of this year with 14 clubs, but there was like a set of irons, a driver, a 3-wood, and like a hybrid that I'm like, I could stick every single one of these in my bags and be totally happy.
Yeah, like look, I understand the TaylorMade fairway wood hype, but I swear if you don't get that Cobra fairway that we are both talking about, if you don't get
Mm-hmm.
one of those and give it a fair shot, I will be like extremely upset. I think your bag will have lost Warrior if you don't give that guy a shot. Um,
I know, and
it's crazy.
it's crazy, and like, I'll be super honest, like Callaway fairway woods for me, I had a couple that were like great, but I never
Yeah.
had that, like, I can be my worst and still hit bangers with this thing. And TaylorMade fairway woods and this Cobra one that we hit that day, it was like, this thing is so
Yeah.
easy to hit and it looks so good
Insane.
that
Yeah.
it's insane. Okay, let's move on to Titleist because it was a different day at Titleist. They're all great days, but we
Yeah.
weren't really testing drivers and stuff that day. But um,
No.
they got, I don't know. See, I don't know how much we can talk about their stuff though. We can say that it's not. I don't want to spoil it, but there's
I mean, I would just say that based on Titleist's normal release cycle, the product that you assume is coming is coming.
is coming, and
Yeah. And
it's great.
it also has a, again, like, everybody's killing it this year, because that was the one that, I'm not gonna lie to you, dude. We were walking into there and I was like, I love that I get to go to TPI, but like, this stuff's not gonna blow me away, you know? Like, it's just a new iteration of blank, and it's like, all
Right.
right, like, cool. Like, I'm happy for it. I'm excited about it. But I walked out of there with a very different mindset.
Well,
um,
do you know
I
what? Do
walked
you know what?
I walked out of there
Go ahead.
giddy. Like, that was, yeah. I walked out of there giddy. It was cool.
Do you know what they do, Jake? And I have to insert this in here. And this is where the Titleist fitting thing is so powerful.
Yeah.
They make it, and it's unique to them. Like, and I'm
Yeah.
sorry to all my other OEM friends. Like, it's just unique to Titleist. They put some expert
It
on
really
you
is. Yeah.
that, like a Lucas, or like, I'm not going to say who I worked with because it's going to give it away. But like
Yeah. I had
the
Brandon.
yeah, they just they put this person in front of you, and the guys just go whack 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 whack, and
Yep.
all of a sudden you're like, I know 9 times more than I did when I walked in here. Like, and
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
actually feel like an idiot. Like, this is
Dude.
pretty cool.
So, okay, so the one thing I will say about Titleist, because it doesn't give anything away about what we tested, but so during Titleist, for some reason, like, even when I did my fit with Lucas, I get like nervous. So whenever I do fits with people that are real fitters, I get nervous because I'm like, all right, I just don't want to give feedback where this guy thinks I'm just like full of shit, right? Like,
Right.
because I, at this point, with the amount of stuff I've tested and like how I go through my own gear, like, I get very, very nitpicky about little tiny things that might not matter to anybody else.
Right.
But they matter to me, and I feel them, or I hear them, or I see them, and it matters a lot to me. So with my fitter at Titleist, there was several times, and I hope we get a cut of every time I asked the question, because I just kept looking at him. Like, I would say something, and I'd be like, "Does that sound like I'm a fucking idiot?" And he would be like, "No, actually, the difference between A and B is exactly what you said it was." He's like, "Not a lot of people
Right.
pick up on that." So I walked out of there, whether he was telling me the truth or not. That man made me feel like a genius. I will say that.
Right.
Like, he made me walk out of there thinking that, like, I really do know my clubs. I know my game really well. I know the things that I need to adjust or do better in my game to make certain things work. Um, and then, he was just like, "Yeah, here's a tool to make that happen. Have a nice day." And it was just like, "Oh, okay, thanks, bye." Like, that's great, you know.